Hello everyone and welcome to my farming guide. In this guide I'm going to be showing you the most effective ways of reaching 99 farming or beyond. I was previously going to make this all one big video, but I've decided to break this up into multiple parts, and that way I can get a little bit more in depth into each one of these tips, and I think that'll benefit you a lot more. Also, if I was to put all these tips into one video, you would have been sitting here for about 2 hours watching the same video, and that is not fun for anyone. So I will be breaking this down into multiple parts and releasing them as we go. And each part will consist of 5 of the best tips and methods for doing farming. So be sure to check them all out if you want to become the master farmer. And hopefully everyone will be able to use this guide and to be able to achieve 99 farming. Just like that. Oh yeah, picking and smelling flowers. Okay guys, well, we're going to get right into it. Tip number 1 of farming. So in this one, it's basically about using Juju farming potions. So the basic Juju farming potion and the perfect Juju farming potion are both 2 tools you should be using in your farming journey. Basically, if you're not using these right now, you need to go buy them immediately and start using them. What the basic Juju farming potion does is when you take a dose, it lasts for about 20 minutes. Or sorry, it's about 20 minutes for the 4 dose. Each dose lasts 5 minutes. And then what it does is it gives you the ability to get extra crops when you harvest. It's most effectively used when doing herbs, and it can add up to lots of money. I'm talking like in one herb run you can get well over 100,000 gold extra just because you took a sip of the Juju farming potion. So the cost of the potion is about 33,361 for a 4 dose. It does get a bit cheaper per dose if you buy them as 3s, so I would definitely recommend buying them as 3s, and sometimes you can actually buy them for less than what they go for in the Grand Exchange, so buy them in advance and buy them in bulk, and that way you can save a little bit of money on those. But there is no way you should be doing farming of herbs or things like that without doing these potions. It's not really useful to use them on trees, so don't really bother taking a sip of them before you do trees. Honestly, I would just take a sip and then go do your entire farming herb run, and that's the best method of doing it. You can kind of use them for a couple other things, such as reeds and whatnot, but mostly it's for herbs, especially if you want to get the most money out of it. Reeds won't give you a whole lot of money back. The other thing you should be using is the perfect Juju farming potion. The perfect Juju farming potion costs about 26,000 for a 4 dose. What these do is you take 1 sip of this, and this will last for 1 full hour just for 1 sip of it. And then what it will do is you have a small chance to get these harmony moss while you are doing farming. Keep in mind that these harmony moss is not really going to be a whole lot useful to you until after you have access to Prif, but they do go for quite a bit of money. As you can see, it's 6,572 just for 1, and if you divide this dose by, say you buy this potion for the about, let's say 24,000 gold is what you buy them for. That's only 6,000 per dose. So as you see, even getting 1 harmony moss already pays for the dose of potion that you used, and you have an entire hour to capitalize on this. I would highly recommend drinking the Juju farming potions before doing things like mushrooms, because since you get multiple items per patch, your chance of getting harmony moss is quite high. The next thing we're going to be talking about is the Green Fingers Aura. The Green Fingers Aura is by far the best aura that you should be doing for farming, and I would highly recommend buying the highest level of Green Fingers Aura as soon as you possibly can, especially if you are planning on going for 99 farming. If you're planning on going for farther than 99 farming, then having a Master's or higher Green Finger Aura is going to net you several million gold. Basically what this does is while you have it active, it lasts for about 20 minutes, although you can extend them and whatnot. Lasts for about 20 minutes. It will allow you to gather extra crops, and you will make more money from doing things such as herbs and other allotment patches. It's extremely useful, and I would this would be like one of the very first things I would buy if I was starting RuneScape, just because you should be starting farming from the beginning, and this is going to net you a lot of go snag one when you can. You can buy them from the Solomon store with loyalty points. You don't need to spend real money on them. So it is definitely one of the best things you can buy from the Solomon's General Store. The next thing here is Super Compost. If you're trying to debate whether you should be using regular compost, super compost, or no compost at all, your answer should always be Super Compost. The only thing you don't really need to use super compost on for the most part is going to be the harmony moss pillars or other things that there's not really any way for them to die, and there's also not really any way to speed up the growing process. Because what the super compost will do is it will speed up your growth process, it will also reduce the disease, and it will make it so that you can get more produce from each thing. So using super compost on your herb patches will allow you to gather extra herbs. So this is definitely something to use. There are many ways to get it. Definitely start using that if you're not using it already. You can store up to 255 of these super compost in the tool leprechaun. So basically you can go over to any tool leprechaun or a tool elf if you are in Prith or around the elf area. And as you can see right here, the super compost is stored right there. You can store up to 255 of it, so slap that in there. I have my 255 buckets here already. And I make my own super compost at times, but you can always store it here. You don't have to keep it in the bank. A good idea to do is just to go over here, grab 5 of them, and then they're already in your inventory. Then you can just start your farming. For our 4th tip, we're going to be showing you how to get super compost in an effective way. There's not really any reason why you should be buying your own super compost from the Grand Exchange. It is very easy for you to make on your own and does not take very much time. You can simply go to your farming store, that like for using the elf farmer or using the dwarf farmer, and he will store the buckets for you. So you just need to withdraw 15 buckets out of there. Go over to your compost bin and use your bucket on the compost bin to collect super compost. Now super compost basically is made by using one of several different items that you can put into the compost bin, and you have to use 15 of those items, just like you have to use 15, you get 15 super compost out of the compost bin. The most useful things and easiest things to use for that would be watermelons and pineapples. So as you can see here, I've already gathered my super compost. You can just simply store the ones you're not going to use for right now, and then they store in there, not taking up any bank space. If you go back to your bank here, I'll show you. You can just grab a bunch of pineapples. Pineapples are a very cheap method to do it. As you can see, pineapples only cost about 80 gold. You just take them and you use them on the compost bin, and there you go. Your guy fills them up and gives you a small amount of farming experience. You also get that small amount of farming experience for when you collect it. You can do pineapples if you're doing pineapple trees. It's very useful because you can just take the trees, pineapples, put them in the bin, and then just eventually you have enough to make super compost. Another good thing to do too is when you're doing your allotment patches, if you go and do your allotment patches and you do watermelons in the allotment patches, you can use watermelons to create super compost. Another way to get super compost is by doing thieving. If you thieve in the Crewis area, whatever that word is. Does anyone actually know how to pronounce that word? But anyway, by thieving from these guys, they will every once in a while give you super compost. As you can see, I already got one and I just started here for a second. So the super compost right there, that will save you over 500 gold from having to buy them. If you calculated how many super compost it would take you to get 200 million farming, that is a lot of money. So just do these small little tricks here to make your own super compost. There's other options to not use super compost too, such as lunar farming, and we'll be getting to that in the future. But for most beginner farmers, super compost is definitely going to be the way to go until you are able to do other things besides super compost. Hello again, and the last thing I'm going to be showing you today is going to be how to get some bonus experience for farming, and then that will complete this first guide of the 5 top tips for farming. But keep in mind, I'm going to be coming out with more farming guides until the farming guide is complete. It will be a several-part guide, as I mentioned in the beginning. So stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more things. I just wanted, like I said, I wanted to break these down so that way that you're not watching a 50,000 hour long video. But as you see, we started Lumbridge Lodestone and walked over here past the crater, and then you will reach the Cabbage Face Punch Bonanza. So, in the Cabbage Face Punch Bonanza, as you can see, currently I have 0 points because I did not play this game today, but you can see you can get bonus experience for farming. It costs 20 points in the game to get bonus experience for farming. It's not really that hard to get points in the game. And then this will give you farming experience that is relative to your level. So it's not going to be the same amount of experience for everyone. But to play this game, it's very simple. You just go to where I showed you. You can talk to the quartermaster right here. You can explain some things. The rules lectern will tell you some things, and you can see a scoreboard. But basically, the basics of the game is just by going through the barrier and then entering this area, and then you will be able to play the game. Perhaps there will be a future guide on how to play Cabbage Face Punch Bonanza the best way, but for now, just know that you can come play this game and you can cash in your reward points to get some bonus experience for farming. The bonus experience for farming from here is not the fastest bonus experience ever, so I would probably only recommend doing this during the spotlights, or if you just really want to get some farming experience right now. This is kind of a fun way to do it. And it is also will give you some failure to save up too. So I really hope this this first 5 helped you out. We're going to be coming out with another 5 really soon. It's not going to be very long for the next video. Be sure to subscribe and like, that way you can follow along and hit the next 5 tips. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.